Hello guys, let's take a look how to overcome some limitations of the config panel in Sencha Architect. In Sencha Architect, when you have selected some component, you have a config panel. And this config panel follows the documentation of the framework. So when I look at the documentation, I can see that there are configs. And the exact configs will be available in the Sencha Architect, which is pretty nice because you don't have to search anything online. You have everything available here. You can search for the configs and so on. But sometimes it can happen that the documentation is not perfect, or perhaps there is some issue in Sencha Architect that some config is missing. For example, you can switch the types, and perhaps sometimes the type of the config is missing. So let's take a look how to overcome this problem. Let's say I would like to add the tab reorder plugin to this tab panel. Yeah, I have this tab panel. When I preview it, there are tabs, and I can't reorder the tabs. Currently, I can just add the tab reorder plugin to the canvas, to the component, and when I save it, it would work. But let's imagine a situation when this plugin is not available in the toolbox. Let's just imagine it. So I will delete it. It's deleted. And how to proceed? Every class in the Sencha Architect, or every component which is available in the project inspector, should be able to add the process config. So when I look in the config, there should be process config. Click on add the, and this will add the function which is run on the initialization of the class. And right now, when I click on the process my table tab panel, I can edit the configs in the tab panel any way I want. So right now in this function I can write config, and this config will get all the configs which are already set, and I can set some new configs. So what I would like to do is I would like to set config plugins, and the same way as it would be defined in the function, right? Okay, and this would work in some cases, but don't forget that Sencha Architect do a lot of things for you. For example, it manages the requirers for you. When I added this plugin manually, the requirers are not edited because Sencha Architect doesn't know you can write anything in here. So Sencha Architect can tell what you have added. So I will have to manually add the class, which is ExtJS tab reorder, to the requirers. I select the class, I will search for the requirers, and I will add this new requirer. And also, because this plugin is from the UX package, which is not a standard package, I will have to tell Sencha Architect that it should load this package. I can do that in the library and library requirers. If I would use the tab reorder plugin from the toolbox, it would automatically add it here, but I'm doing manually, so I will have to add the UX. Right, now I will save it, and once it's compiled, I should be able to use tab reorder in the Sencha in the tab panel. Let's wait for the build. Okay, waiting for changes means that it's finished. Refresh, and I can reorder the tabs. So yeah, I just overcome the limitations of the config panel, and you can do this on basically anything. Let's say this panel, I would click on that process config, and it would edit this process configs of this X type. And notice something is different here. when I'm editing the when I'm doing process config of some child element, the function, when I click on it, looks a little bit different. There is a return value. So it's basically the same as before. I would write config title, for example, or something else, right? Something is the same as the other function, but there is return. In the first, I didn't have to return the config because the function is a little bit different. Yeah, and that's it. With this, you can overcome any limitations. There is also other way how to achieve this. So let me delete these functions. And the other way is to just write requires. Yeah, we can what the requires there is to write override. Let me switch to the design panel to code, and right now I can see here create override for this class. So when I click on it, yes, I'm aware of what I'm doing. Right now you can, in this, you can write anything. You can completely rewrite the class in any way you want. So it would be the same as before. I would override it. I would write plugins, tab reorder, anything like that. Yes, this should be okay. I will again edit when we are in override. You can click back to the class. Just make sure that again you have the class in the requirers. UX is in the library requirers, and when I save it, and it's compiled, I should be able to reorder the tabs. Changes, refresh. Yeah, I'm able to reorder the tabs because the definitions are loaded from the override. And that's it.